NCRP Productions presents New Dallas, an Alien RPG campaign series podcast, Episode 8. Welcome back to the Alien RPG New Dallas. This is Barry, your Game Master, and I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, and we'll get started.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I'm playing Cole Bloodhound Baird, the Marshal.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm running Dr. Elizabeth Langtree.
Hello everyone, it's David, and I'm playing Sargent Alister, Rictor, Colonial Marine.
Hello, this is Josh. I'm playing Company Man Lance Bateman.
All right, so last game session, we had an interesting end that for me brought up some questions that do you guys know as a group. So I'm going to give you a little history before I catch you up on where we were at. There are two groups that we are dealing with here, at least as far as discussion. There is a corporation called Sequoia, which is completely separate, and that is very involved in this. Sequoia is involved with this colony in an attempt, as Weyland-Yutani pulls the atmosphere generators back off planet. Sequoia is trying to step in to become the corporate ally of New Dallas and be the provider for the majority of their stuffs. And in return, Sequoia may also be able to yank out some of the oil and gas, which is the huge commodity that New Dallas represents. So the two governments, I'm going to call it, that we're going to talk about today at least, are the 3W, or the Three World Empire, and the UPP. So the Three World Empire was the first of the conglomerate nations. With the birth of extrasolar colonies, Earth was becoming a smaller place. Realizing a pool of resources would result in a stronger base from which to colonize the stars, the United Kingdom, Japan, India, and several developing countries joined forces in the 2180s. In addition to the aforementioned countries, member states included little countries like Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Kenya, Fiji, and more. So 3W is quietly where Weyland-Yutani comes from as well. Weyland being the British corporation and Yutani being the Japanese corporation. Weyland-Yutani is officially disconnected from the 3W, but in effect, they are pretty much one and the same. They tend to work in tandem. The other group is the UPP, and that's important because of what's happening right now in the game. The UPP is the Union of Progressive Peoples. The history is, in the early 22nd century, the UPP was formed by China and Russia in direct response to a perceived combined threat of the Three World Empire and the United Americas. We didn't really go over the United Americas, but real short, the United Americas was North and South America pooling together to be one united nation, not United Nations, but united singular nation. And so with the perceived threat of the Three World Empire and the UA, the United Americas, locked in an ever-escalating arms race with these capitalist conglomerates, the UPP has always managed to stay only one step behind them, despite the fact that they will not deal with Weyland-Yutani or any other corporations. Additional member states include, and they're a lot bigger than the ones that are in the Three World Empire, additional member states include Vietnam, Germany, Spain, and several other Asian and Eastern European countries. At the time of its inception, many androids were already in use within the member states of the UPP. They were not, however, granted citizenship status of any kind. We are now over 60 years later. They are still just considered machines and properties of the state. So there's a different perception of androids as well. I don't know how much we'll get into it, but I feel like this is the group that we're going to get into that's going to get into that. So last time, you guys are in the midst, you're not in the plasma storm that you were in the previous time, but you are still in a fairly substantial rain and thunderstorm. The Marines, along with Cole Baird, leaving Coombs, who is still injured, with the civilians. The Marines and Cole Baird headed down to the boathouse. Lights were seen in the distance. You guys hid out in the boathouse. The boathouse, remember, has 3 docks in it. One had a ship in it. As the doors opened, and the two ships that were not in there but were pulling into their spaces pulled in. Sergeant Rictor hollered out in his best voice, Colonial Marines, stop. However, stress intervened, as it does in this game, and it didn't come out quite as clean, and all hell kind of broke loose. The end result was we have 3 captured UPP individuals that are in one of the ships being held down or locked down by the 2 Marines that joined you guys. That's Navarro and Stevens. Rictor himself, although not doing any damage, has his foot on the 4th UPP member that's there. You have 4 more that are dead. One of the boats was put in reverse, although there is no one driving it. It is circling backwards out slowly in a languid arc out into the water and the rain and thunder and lightning that's out there. So, for up top in the residence area, we have Dr. Langtree and Lance Bateman with the remainder of the civilians, and you guys are up there with lights out currently, and Coombs, the Marine, trying to explain to everyone, hey, be calm, it'll be fine, everything's okay, and Dr. Langtree taking up the call and doing the same thing. So before we start, let's kind of look at where everyone's at. Let me start with stress. Where is everyone at their stress meter right now? Pedro, for Cole Baird.
It's not looking good. I'm at 7 stress.
7 stress, and that was almost exclusively from the incident, which
Yeah.
was pretty bad.
Yeah.
You leapt out of the boathouse at one point. You were shot on at one point.
Yeah, man, and I was right in the middle of it. It was not fun.
Dr. Elizabeth Langtree, up with the civilians. Where are you at on your stress meter?
I have 2 stress.
2 stress. So, though it's not calm up there, there's not a lot of insane excitement. There is definitely that undercurrent of we don't know what's going on and we don't like being in the dark.
Do you
But
think
most everyone's holding it together.
Yeah, do you think that we wouldn't feel safe here?
I think that you would feel safe as soon as the Marines come back. I don't think so yet. I think you feel safe because you are in the loop. You've been kind of told what they're doing. But no, I don't think the regular people around would.
Okay. The reason I ask is because my talent is if I feel like I'm in a safe place, then I can lower my stress and an ally's stress.
Okay, and is there a time frame on that?
I think it's like per... What's the
10-minute...
Yeah.
I always forget that.
Round
It's
or-
a turn.
It's the
Turn.
turn is the 10-minute
Turn
one?
is
Yeah.
10 minutes.
So if I feel like I'm safe, then myself and Lance could go down a point.
Good memory there, Pedro. And yes, so I feel, unless Lance, you're going to have something different, we'll come back to you at the end of this introduction component. You guys are going to both reduce your stress by 1 point. So, Sergeant Rictor, with all the insanity that's going on, where is your stress meter at?
Well, I'm sitting comfortably, because of my training and peak boost of 7 stress.
7 stress.
But, to me, it's just another glorious day in the Corps.
Yeah, if you guys remember from last game, there were a number of times where to relieve stress for himself, not by choice but by dice roll, Sergeant Rictor just ended up screaming, just getting it out, which lowers his own stress but raises everyone else around him. So he was helpful in raising Cole Baird's a little bit.
Tea kettle.
And then Lance Bateman. You're up there. You've
Yes.
talked a couple of times with Katrina Hill, the Sequoia news reporter, who you've made some inroads with. You've done a few things to try and get her at least a news story or some film footage. So there's some camaraderie. You both work for Sequoia. But with all of this that's going on, that stress level is
3 currently, which
Okay.
is actually fairly high by Lance Bateman standards. So he was prior thinking of like finding a good corner to go spend with a nap relief and lower the stress, but it seems that Dr. Langtree's calming presence has perhaps changed his mind as he is now just kind of hanging out, trying to help keep the peace upstairs.
Well, that's perfect. So you and Dr. Langtree go ahead and reduce 1 level of stress.
Nice.
And we are going to go ahead and step into the game.
Bunch of kiss asses. Just talk to Game Master.
Candy asses sitting
Yeah,
around doing nothing.
yeah. All tied up there. Yeah, must be nice.
Nobody even told us about the action.
Yeah.
Not
We don't even
raining.
know.
No
We
one
don't
told
even
you
know
guys to
what's going on.
shoot a bunch of dudes. That was a personal choice.
That's nice not being shot at. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds nice.
Sounds like
Sounds nice that we get
Must
to...
be warm under the security of the blanket that we provide.
You're welcome for us taking the bullets.
All right.
Did
so,
anybody take any bullets?
That's beside the point.
Mr. Bateman, please.
I'm about to shoot. Rictor, shoot one of your Marines, please.
Bam.
Give the doctor something to do.
Navarro, I'm sorry, you have to bite this bullet.
So, I'm going to start then with Rictor. You and Cole Baird are inside. Now, I'll give you guys a
We're in the
layout.
boathouse, right?
You're in the boathouse. Yeah. 2 of the 3 stalls are filled.
Mm-hmm.
The rain and wind and thunder that are outside are affecting it. You're yelling as opposed to talking, but you're not having any undue problems with it. The door to the boathouse from the dock is open. The big door allowing the ships to dock, or the boats to dock, that is open as well. And you are on the opposite side.
I thought there
of
were
the
2 bays inside the boathouse. There's 3?
3 total bays. One has a boat that has never left.
Okay, never left. All right.
There's
Is that the middle one?
It's the far side. It's
Okay,
where
all right.
your Marines are.
Okay.
In fact, they are presently aimed over that sitting boat to hold the 3 in place that are in the boat that is locked in.
Oh, they're taking cover behind the boat?
Well, not taking cover.
Isn't there a walkway? Is there a catwalk between each?
Each boat. Yes.
Yeah, so they would have been on the So if there was the far one's full and the 2 empty ones were next to each other, then it would just be me on one side and then them right on the other side.
No, what you had them do last game session is looking at it as a square.
Mm-hmm.
All right? The right-hand square, they were standing in that corner. The left-hand square, you were standing in the other corner, and you guys are at the garage door or the
Right.
boat dock door
Okay.
opening.
Right.
And so there was a boat in between them and the next space.
Okay.
But they completely have the men covered, and nobody seems to be doing anything. I take it back. We're going to rewind that. The Marines have gone and gathered all of the guns. That means that the Marines are actually in the second boat. So there's 2 Marines, Navarro and Stevens, are in the boat with the 3 UPP members down and contained. Nobody's in cuffs or ties
Right.
yet. So
The other boat is out spinning donuts.
yeah, the other
right?
boat, you actually don't even see the lights of it. It's gone out far enough. And again, it's not like it's roaring 100 miles an hour
Right.
backwards. It has maybe 4 or 5 knots worth of speed put on it, but it's rolling without any control.
Right. Okay.
And the wind's held.
Yeah. All right.
So what are we doing?
God damn it, Rictor! I was in the middle of you 2, and you're gonna fucking jump out and shout at them? You think they're gonna shoot?
Yeah, I do.
What? But you sure took some liberties with my life on that one, Rictor. I'd appreciate it in the future if you just kindly inform me, so I at least know when to jump out of the way.
Try and give you plenty of warning next time.
Well, I would damn right appreciate that. I'll smack some like water off of my hat.
So the other thing that's happened is the light in here was turned on by Cole Baird. So you also have light in the boathouse.
As Marines, we understand that civilians don't. They're not at the same level to accept the level of stress that we do, and so I understand why Cole Baird is in such an uproar. We have to.
So Navarro's going to ask, and he's not going through the mic, although you will hear it through the mic. He's opening up. He's not screaming, but he is talking loud to get over the sounds outside. He's like, "So Sarge, what are we doing with these 3? We taking them up to the civilians area?"
I'm gonna look at Cole Baird. Here's
Can't
true.
let the civilians see that we've taken 3, that we've arrested 3 UAP people. Okay.
We
And you can see Navarro with the gun going, Marshall, and he's pointing at the ground at the dock, and under Richter's foot is a 4th one.
There's 4 of them. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's somewhere. One here too.
So we should probably, to avoid a panic, keep them. Well, they're clearly arrested, or we're gonna be arresting them. But we probably shouldn't bring them back to the general.
So you want to interrogate him here?
That would probably be better than bringing them in front of Hill, where she can go ahead and spread all this around. Last thing we need right now.
So one of the other things that happened at the end of last episode that I just remembered was you had asked a question of them, and their response was in a language none of you knew. But you heard distinctly the word Wayland Utah.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm going to search this one that I've got my boot under. Maybe he's got some kind of identification.
All right, so reaching through there, he does have a pair of dog tags.
Okay.
All right? And his tags identify his name. They identify his rank, if I remember correctly. That's right for dog tags? They identify rank or not?
No, they identify name, blood type, and serial number, I think.
Ooh, what's his blood type?
It's going to be a common blood type.
How common are we talking about?
Yeah, because otherwise you'd have to have new dog tags printed every time you got promoted.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and again, having not been in the military myself, and I thank those who have been, I need to have that information. So,
What
so
kind
the
of
dog
dog tags
tags are
are they?
UPP, without a doubt.
Or UPP.
Military. That's what I'm looking up. Give me 1 sec. I got to see what they call their military. Their military is called the Space Operating Forces, or the SOF. So that is the UPP equivalent, or rough equivalent, of the USCMC, and that is who he's working with.
So the UPP, so you're saying that these guys are the equivalent of the USCMC
Correct.
to Weyland-Yutani. These are their kind of military.
This is their military, right? Again, USCMC is not officially, when you say it, it's not officially Weyland-Yutani.
Right, it's, yeah, they're
autonomous under the UA, but yeah, Weyland-Yutani has pretty good control of them.
So so Weyland-Yutani has control of the
USCMC.
Oh, the US. Okay.
They contract them all the time.
Yeah, the group that, and we've seen this through the movies, but the group that Rictor works for, the Marines, or the Colonial Marines, Weyland-Yutani has pretty good control of them. If Weyland-Yutani needs something, it just seems to be interesting how the Colonial Marines are generally always available to help them out.
They have an ongoing contract with the USCMC to provide security as needed.
But yeah, so the UPP has the SOF.
And that's what these are, the SOF.
Yeah, so his tags show him as SOF.
So are there any unspoken understandings about the SOF or the UPP in relation to
What's
where
the
Weyland,
SOP for the
the
SOF.
Colonial Marines stand for? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to keep away from them, Sequoia,
Like,
but yeah, the little things.
Do we see them as just a mercenary group, or is there
So you would see them, the way I view them for the game is you see them as a competitive or combative unit against you. So something like, not like we view the Taliban, but more like we view the Russian military. So you don't just, hey, there's the Russian military, let's shoot them. But it's, hey, they're military, we're military, there's a potential contention if something were to light it off, boom.
all right.
And so you still have rules of warfare, rules of engagement. You don't just go blow their heads off and expect to not get in trouble for just blowing their heads off. Especially once they're not in custody, but under control.
Looks like what do we got here? Looks like we got some SOF chum.
Nobody says anything. Navarro's just kind of staring. He says, so we're chumming the waters, Sarge? He doesn't seem to be real confident.
No, just saying that we've got some rent-a-cops here that are way above their pay grade. So they best start talking. I kind of nudged the one with my boot.
So again, he looks at you. He'll turn over and look at you, or turn his head to look at you, and says words again that you don't know.
What language does it sound? Is
You're
it Slavic
sounding
language?
like it's Chinese.
Chinese.
Yep.
There was an Asian doctor, I think, or an Asian therapist on the ship that approached us.
There was
Some
a
point.
nurse
A nurse
that had an Asian kid. Again, we realize in the game here for North Coast Role Playing Productions, or NCRP Productions, we do realize we're profiling here. But yes, there was an Asian person up there.
Does it sound? So what language you speak? Does it sound Chinese or Japanese or?
Would you know well enough? It sounds Asian.
There were 4 nurses.
I would know the difference between like Vietnamese and Chinese, that kind of thing.
The majority of people that you're going to interact with are going to speak English. Probably mostly American English, not British English, but the majority of people you will speak with will speak English. The UPP hasn't had that need because in competing with the UA and the Three World Empire, they started producing their own stuff. And Seegson has worked with them in the past, although not as much now. Remember, the UPP kind of shuns all corporates. So there's been no need for them to, as a larger body, learn the same language you speak.
So is there a role that I can make to try and understand what language you might be speaking?
To try and figure out specifically the language?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't see a reason why you couldn't. That would be...
Observation.
Well, it would be a wits... Yeah, perfect. It would be a
Alright.
wits observation roll.
3, 4, 5, 6, plus my 7 stress dice.
I realized I've been rolling wrong this whole time, and I've been substituting my stress die for my normal die.
Oh, no!
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been under-rolling.
Okay, well, there's some aliens.
Oh.
Well, there's one. Actually, that might be a botch. No, it's not. So I got 3 aliens,
Oh, my God.
and then I got one. I did get a success though.
What language do you
All
speak?
right. But what is... What...
Okay, if
They
you
speak English or what?
So what is your current stress level? It's 7, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, current 7.
So the roll is only going to be valuable. The roll is only going to be valuable if your panic roll ends up being a 1 or a 2. So let's see what happens.
Okay, here we go. It's a 5.
All right. So once again,
Every fucking time.
I ruin your concentration.
well, so here's how we go.
All right. this
You
should be
get
good.
so frustrated with
Oh
what's
god!
going on.
A round
you
goes
want-
off. Oh Jesus!
No,
Boom!
not a
Damn
round
hair
goes
trigger.
off.
What?
You're screaming again.
Oh.
oh my god.
You speak English?
And that's it. So Cole, you see him, by the way,
Does my
the screen
stress-
raises Cole's by 1 and reduces
Stress
Victor
everyone else.
reduces yours by
Hey,
1.
that's awesome. I love that.
Jesus Christ, Rictor, you need to stop shouting. Put my hat back on. What are you doing? Damn it! I'll come over and kind of like pull him.
And I
pull him off.
I envision you going, all right, what fucking language are you speaking? Victor
Yeah,
going
right.
off on him.
You ain't gonna learn what language this man speaks by shouting at him. God, dick, I'll pull him off.
Oh shit!
So Cole, as you're walking over to him, if you take a quick look, Stevens and Navarro are super uncomfortable. I wouldn't use the word twitchy. They are professional Marines, but they're kind of looking, and both of them you can see have set their guns down. I mean, not on the ground, but I mean have aimed their guns directly at the 3 on the boat dock, and with him screaming, or in the boat floor, and with him screaming, you can see the one that you can see from your vantage point is very nervous, is shaking.
Okay.
But they seem to be under control. So as you approach him, remember, he's standing on this guy's back.
Okay, this is really bad.
Concerning to
I know
me
it's
that
gonna
the
screw
more
me
enraged
over.
I get, the more comfortable I am.
But I want to try and
Anger
use
issues.
command
Okay.
to calm him down because he is losing his shit and
Yep.
it's making me lose my
Command's
shit.
only in
and
combat,
his
so it'll be
men.
manipulation.
Oh, it'll be manipulation.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna come
It's
over.
an opposed roll.
Well, so here's the thing. Manipulation won't lower stress.
Yeah.
No.
The command one does. I don't know.
We could
Is
we could
command-
enter into initiative if he's going to do something.
Yeah. I think the command could be put in that place because you could put him there without a doubt.
Oh my objective is to calm him down and try and get him with what I'm about to say to realize that his men are getting twitchy and he needs to get his shit back together.
Well, it's going to be
I
a tough
like
sell
the
right
sound
there.
of that.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be a tough sell to convince me that my Marines are twitchy.
all right. So you are
that
going
one's
to go
literally
ahead.
spazzing.
So you are going to go ahead and make a command roll with the intent of stopping panic.
Yeah.
Let's take a look and see if
Did we
there is
switch?
opposition
Huh?
to that roll.
What?
No,
Did we
no,
go into combat rounds? Or?
we're looking
Are we
at
in
what
combat?
command.
No, I don't know. I'm
No,
not quite
we're
sure.
looking
It's
at
a
what
good question.
command can do if
Okay.
you use in this.
We did it-
Well, command is used as a specific
I mean-
action in combat. I think that's why they say use it in
Like,
combat.
How common? I mean, like nap relief. Would that just be something that everybody would just know
Would
about?
it be like
No.
Advil?
Yeah.
No.
That's right. Is it like an Advil?
So
It's like,
think in
Ambien.
terms of
they just say like, get this guy some drugs.
So think in terms of the way we do things today. So everybody knows aspirin. The majority of people know about opioids in general because they're talked about so much in the
Okay.
news. But if you tell somebody, hey, tell me what narcos do, the average person probably is, in Humboldt County they're going to know. But
Yeah.
anywhere else, the average person is not
Yeah.
going to know what narcos do. They just know they're bad, or they know they're good, or they know they have street
So
value. You know
nap
what I'm saying?
relief is on that level.
Without a doubt.
It's
The
that's
average
helpful.
person going into space is, though it's stressful, is not dealing with this kind of stress.
Like
so
they're not standard issue for all.
no,
soldiers,
no,
or-
absolutely not. And with
should
nap
be.
relief, remember your nap relief has an addictive quality to it, so the Marines would be suggested away from it. So Cole Baird, go ahead and give us a command roll.
Okay, cool. I have no
Do you have... Wouldn't matter. Give us a command roll.
I don't think anybody heard that, which is fine. Don't worry about it.
Those aliens.
Oh, I almost
there you
got
go.
away without it.
Throwing a lot of green dice there.
I got 1 success.
All right.
That's
Well,
just-
I got a success as well with mine.
Well, so it does not appear to be combative. It does not appear to be one against the other. You can make a command roll.
No, I'm talking about my observation roll on mine.
Oh, all right.
So I still got a success.
But you remember anything 10 and up removes the...
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So, Cole Baird, you also got an alien?
Stress try.
Come on, 1.
2. Yeah, 1 or 2.
No, it's not. It's 13.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
I think that's what I got. Well, I
No.
got 12. I got 12.
Okay, so... You're trying to command...
He starts yelling.
So here's... that guy down! Here's what I see going on. So you've got...
Stop yelling at
got
him!
Richter.
Insane. Yeah.
Be nice to him. Sorry.
So you've got Richter getting very upset, starting to yell at him, what fucking language do you speak, blah, 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 blah. And Cole, you get up, come over to him, and you're like, Richter, stop this shit. And
He doesn't
Richter's still
fucking know.
screaming at him. You get so frustrated, you, 13, flee.
What?
And I don't think you
wait. Oh, shoot.
Nerves of
Steel.
away.
11.
You got nerves of steel.
That's right. I have nerves of steel. It's an 11. I get -2 on my rolls.
Well, it's not necessarily better, but you see
like that
cover.
funny.
I see
You cover.
Okay, so wait.
Sargent's
Here,
gonna
then
lose it, I gotta
I
take
got
cover.
something for us then. I think.
Okay.
Jump in the water.
So here's the effect of it. You get so frustrated. I don't see you.
No.
Oh my god. So you get so frustrated with it. You got to go take a breather. You step out.
Okay, that's fine.
Your stress level goes down 1.
I'd have had
However-
you jump in the water.
However, Sergeant Rictor, seeing this display, your stress level goes up 1.
Okay.
So
You
you.
just lost one of those people that was
Just a
holding
loss.
this in place. You are still frustrated, angry, and
Okay.
screaming.
And I was trying to calmly but angrily tell you, like, your men are getting twitchy. Now it turned into, God damn it, Rictor, your men are getting twitchy. They're gonna
Right.
shoot those
It
up.
didn't go off.
Yeah.
You got so frustrated with it, you've walked out. So you are currently out in the wind and rain, just taking that breather that's dropping that stress a pot. So, Rictor, for you and the Marines, you've now got Steven saying, hey, Sarge, what are we doing?
So Marines will know that a common psychological warfare tactic when not obtaining, but when you detain an assailant, right, is to use your voice in a raised tone, which instills intimidation, which makes them more susceptible to cooperate with you.
Which makes sense.
Which is,
except
they
that
could
you-
see that as part of that.
They
you know?
could,
Yeah,
except
so it
they
shouldn't
also see you're losing it, and now Cole just lost it.
That's pretty scary.
In a matter of a couple of moments. So again, they're now asking, so keep in mind, we've talked about this before. You have a crack squad. This is not the fuck up squad.
Right.
These guys are real Marines following the code, believing in you, so you are their father, the Corps is their mother. They are following you. But they're seeing you not really give orders. So that's what they're coming back. It's not a, hey, what are you doing? It's a, Sarge, what are we doing?
Stand fast.
Okay,
All right, which means stand by.
gotcha. So what is your action now? So the guy does not appear to be, he's
Well-
scared. The guy in front of you can read easily is scared. He thinks he's going to get killed. He's also been chattering at you in his language, and you're not getting anything.
All
from
I
it.
know is it's some Asian language.
It's a language that isn't yours. You're pretty sure it's some kind of Asian language. Your immediate thing, I don't know where your sensibilities go, but your immediate thing is it's Chinese or it's Mandarin or whatever the hell it is. It's not a language you speak,
Okay.
and God damn it, you need somebody to speak with them.
So I dial in, I radio in, Koontz, come in.
Hey Sarge, what's going on?
I need somebody that speaks Chinese or any Asian language. Come down here to the boathouse.
Coombs doesn't laugh. He says, Sarge, all right, got it. Give me a moment. So Coombs will speak up above the crowd, which we are still in the dark. Say, Dr. Langtree, actually, ma'am, sorry, Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
could I have you come over here for a moment, sir?
I'm
Certainly.
going to.
Okay, not a problem.
No deal, Doctor.
He's not going to stop you. And Katrina Hill will walk over with you guys.
Oh, God.
No, I'm gonna point at her and say, "Go back over there.
She says,
Go lay
Go."
Go lay down.
give me a manipulation roll.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Now, see, on the manipulation roll, she has a chance to defend
Right.
against.
So if she fails, she's either got to cooperate or she's got to attack.
Please.
Cat fight. Yeah, that's what's nice.
Just 6s or 5s?
6.
Just 6s.
2. I have two successes.
Okay, so she has 3.
Oh.
So you either need to let her come with you, or you have to attack.
Or
her.
you would have to push it. So she's going to
you can
start
push the
giving
roll,
you. She's going to start giving you the freedom of speech argument, the fact that she's a reporter and a representative Seegson. There shouldn't be anything going on that should be hidden, and you can tell she's playing you off because you're smart. You realize that what she's doing is saying, "Bring me, or I will make sure that everyone else knows that you're not bringing me." That's kind of what she's pushing.
Like, I mean, how far away are we going from where we're at? Just like
Oh,
in the corner of the room? Or are we
8
going outside?
feet.
Okay, yeah.
8 feet, 10 feet.
Okay, so my choices are I have to give up or I have to.
You would either give up or push the roll. The push roll would raise your stress by
No.
1.
So with manipulation, you either cooperate. So in this
No.
case,
She's the attacker.
Right.
As the attacker, she can either not push it or she has to push it to try and beat.
Yeah, the
through.
attacker doesn't have to attack. I mean, the aggressor of the manipulation
Does
roll
not
doesn't
have to attack.
I'll push
Push it. All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
And so what I'll say
It goes, your stress level goes up 1.
Okay, and so what I'll say
Get an extra
is.
die. That's why I don't mind about
You
the
get the
stress
extra
mechanic.
stress
I mean,
die.
she's
Yeah.
Yes.
gonna find out what the request is. Yeah, you know, if we have to find a person.
I just don't like her.
Yeah. And that's been played off very well. I enjoy it so much.
So I'm gonna say that I am not in a position to allow her to have freedom of speech or not. I just don't want her near me right now.
Okay. So you're now changing your tack, saying instead of just you just need to go there, you're like, look, I need you not around me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me the roll.
Okay.
She gives her the glare.
I got a success and no aliens.
All right. So she again argues, she says, look, I'm going to be able to figure out what's going on anyway. It's not like I don't have a long-range mic, but it's a whole lot easier if I'm up close instead of asking questions from a distance across all these civilians. And again, she's keeping it very quiet, but very threatening.
And so I have to beat her 3 to succeed?
Yes.
Okay.
And Coombs is again saying, Mr. Bateman, please.
Yeah, out with it.
So you've come over. What's
Yeah.
going on? You and Katrina currently. Hold on one second, Lance. You and Katrina, Dr. Langtree, are basically standing there with the glare off.
So, I guess I just don't know if I can do this mechanically, but can I then just choose to filibuster her and just keep her talking over here?
Yeah, just keep her away from the whole thing.
Yeah,
So sure.
Is that an option, or do I have to
Before
roll?
we go too far,
Yeah.
I think you did that push wrong.
Okay.
So she re-rolled all of the dice, not keeping her original hits.
Is that what the push does? You keep
You
the
push, you
original hits?
re-roll all the ones that weren't hits and re-roll them.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So
But
let's
you add
do
a
this
stress
again.
die. So you had 2 initially.
So I keep my 2 successes.
Right. You re-roll the rest of the dice,
So
adding its stress die.
I think we've all been doing that wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
you haven't.
I've never
Dave, but I
pushed
think the
anything,
rest of them.
yeah,
So
Okay.
for the rules, you just reread
Yeah.
that to make sure.
Yeah.
So
Says, this means you grab all the dice that didn't show hits and then roll them again.
oh,
You
that
get a
is
new chance
that
to
will
roll hits.
change a lot of this game for us.
Okay.
So re-roll, adding a stress die, re-roll the non-successes. How many do you come up?
Okay. And so that is still just 1.
Yep, 2.
But it's
Oh.
1 plus 2.
Oh, those
so
are the original
3.
2, so you have a total
This
of
was
3.
my original 1.
Oh, okay, so original
yeah,
3.
so
now
now
you put her in a position of she.
No, I had it originally 2, but when I rolled it, it flipped that one
Oh.
over. So now I have 2 more successes. So I have
So
4 in total.
4.
Total 4.
So you get angry, you get in her face, which by the way is stepping up because we've realized you're shorter than her.
Yes.
And she finally backs down. She says, okay, Doc, have it your way. And she backs off. So you'll walk over to Bateman, and again, we're 8 feet, 10 feet.
Sure.
So Coombs says, sir, the Sarge is looking for somebody who speaks if you'll forgive me, an Asian language.
Oh.
Would that be you, sir?
Well,
I would assume, being in your position, that you would know a number of languages.
I do, but not specifically an Asian
Any
one. However, if we have some sort of crew manifest, maybe we can get an idea without going through the
at
crowd.
what level would Lance profile? There is an
Like-
Asian cast person
So yeah,
amongst the nurses.
we've seen of the 4 nurses, one is
Ming,
of-
you guys have met everyone.
Okay, so is that pretty much our only option amongst the crowd that we have?
Not
observed?
necessarily, but that's the only one. Again, we're profiling, and I realize that.
I'm going to question Kuntz. I'm sorry. Any Asian language for what
can we
purpose?
Ma'am, I apologize. I'm uncertain. The Sarge asked me to bring somebody down or get somebody who can speak any Asian language.
I'll head over towards the nurse.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just
So as you are
This is
beelining,
a little racist, but
Well, I don't know which Asian language they're speaking,
Do you
so
speak
Yeah.
Asian?
shooting from the hip.
a little questionable.
No, that's not. That's not what Lance
Hey,
Bateman says.
hey, you're just wondering.
oh,
So,
God.
so as you approach her, she realizes that you're approaching her, and she's amongst the 4 nurses. She stands up, and as you get close, she says, "Mr. Bateman, is something wrong?"
Oh no worries at all. I just have a bit of a personal question for you, if you don't mind.
And she gets, and Doc, I'm assuming you're going with him.
I'm still arguing with Kuntz.
Oh, you're still going with this. So, Lance, you will see that she kind of blushes. She's, yes, smiling.
Would you happen to be?
Lance is a good-looking guy, right? This is what we've established.
He doesn't have to be.
He's not.
He's super charismatic. He's a
Or
normal.
so
Yeah,
he's smarmy. He's not.
It'd be cool if
pretty.
you were hideous, but super like slick, you know.
Yeah.
pockmarked face.
Yeah, right. But you were so just
Right.
well versed that people just were enthralled by you. And
So you're not-
your
you're not
hideousness actually
necessarily
plays.
pretty.
Not pretty, but
Okay.
yes, he is
All right,
about.
charisma.
He's
Kinda Willem
fairly
Dafoe.
average looking. Not you know.
Like we talked.
Oh,
Willem
why
Dafoe,
are we taking
Gary
shots
Busey.
at Willem Dafoe?
Christopher Walken's not very good looking, but when he speaks, people listen.
Yeah, you're right.
All
You're
right.
right. All right. So anyway, so she blushes. She'll look at you. She'll blush.
So,
And yes.
would you happen to be bilingual by chance?
And then some. Yes. Why do you ask?
Could you please come with me for a moment?
Okay. And the blushing has gone away.
Yeah. So I'll just walk her back over to the to Coombs and
Okay.
Katrina
And for the
and
moments
Dr.
that we
Langtree.
had him asking that, did you say anything to Coombs?
That doesn't make any sense. You have to realize that.
Ma'am, I apologize. I mean, you know I appreciate what you've done for me and for us. The Sarge asked me to get somebody that speaks an Asian language. I'm getting tongue-tied here, ma'am. I'm really sorry. I can only do what I'm ordered to do.
Miserable.
Ma'am, so ranks, etc. I'm
I
still
understand
Yes,
the
ma'am.
pipeline. It doesn't make any more sense.
Okay. Oh, yes. And as you come over, Coombs turns to you and says, "So this is she can speak."
And I'll greet Ming. She's one of my nurses.
Yep.
And I'll say, "Oh,
Yep.
Ming," and I'll touch her elbow. You know, it I apologize in advance for this question, but it sounds like we need potentially a translator. What
Oh.
languages do you speak?
Well, I have, of course, with my family, I speak Mandarin or Chinese, whichever way you want to look at it. I also speak a little bit of Russian as well. What do you need? I speak. I don't read very well in either language. Better in the Mandarin, but of course you know the scripts. There's so many different scripts. But what?
I'm not sure that we know which language is needed. So would you be able to rule out languages? At least specifically Mandarin?
Rule out.
Could you tell if it wasn't Mandarin and perhaps provide any guidance on what it could be?
She kind of yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. I think so. And Coombs says that great. Sarge, we've got one.
Okay, cool. Bring her down.
Down to where you're at your location.
Down to the boathouse. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir. And so he then turns back to you. He says, Ma'am, I'm Private Coombs. I've been tasked by my sergeant to ask, would you accompany me to his position? And she looks at you, Dr. Langtree.
I'll say, of course I'll come with you.
And this point, Coombs is not going to say anything. He looks at you, he says, Mr. Bateman, thank you so much for the help. And
anytime.
Door opens, and the howl of the wind is there. Rain comes in, and he looks at the two of you and shuts the door and says, Sarge, one moment. And he looks to you, Dr. Langtree, and says, do you have something? It's pretty bad out there.
Bad how?
Well, the storm.
The weather.
Yes, the weather.
I have what I'm wearing, unfortunately. Beyond that.
I meant for the nurse. She says, Leanne. He says, for Leanne.
They didn't have any like coats on the walls or anything.
There were no coats on
or...
the walls. No.
Why does Koontz care whether the translator's comfortable or not? He drags her ass down to the boathouse as ordered.
So,
that's what he does.
Her name is Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne Ming.
Leanne. So I'll look to her and I'll say, do you require additional coverings?
Where are we going?
We're going through the rain to, where's his location?
How far distance? And he'll say, it's only a couple 100 feet. She goes, no, it's fine. And so he says, all right, Sarge, we're coming. And the three of you guys head out. So he takes you out down to the right. Now, as they go out, the door gets shut. The door shuts, and Katrina's coming right over to you. So, Lance, what is going on? Why are they taking the nurse out? Why is the doctor going with them? What's happening?
Oh, well, as you know, I've been stuck up here with you, so I'm not quite sure, and I don't really see much reason to go out on the dock myself just yet.
Okay, well, what did he want? What was he asking for?
Oh, we just needed a translator. You know,
so she's silent for a moment. A translator?
Yeah, you know. Reasons unknown, obviously.
Oh, all right. And then she'll drop into some, side thing to hopefully keep you focused on
Lance will talk. I mean, so what Lance sees this situation as is like, any press is good press. Like, he can potentially spin this or make this, into something useful, or make it, make him appear to be the valuable asset to his corporation to maybe get another Employee of the Year award.
Right.
So he's willing to humor her to a degree and keep talking. Small.
And it is small talk. She's doing the same thing with you. She wants to ingratiate herself with you, potentially have an in. Now, you don't know how much of your background she may or may not know. But think about it. If I'm a reporter and I have an in with somebody who potentially is going to be one of the bigwigs here, and you might be in her mind. So, you guys small talk.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Langtree, for you, as you guys move out into it, it is uncomfortable moving through it. But
and
it's
I'll yell into her ear.
Yep.
I want to give her forewarning that this guy's a dickhead and that I'm on her side.
What do you say as you're yelling at her ear?
I'm going to say that my experience with Sergeant Rictor is that he is an unkind brute. I'm not sure what he needs from us, but if it feels dangerous or unsafe, I am on your side.
So she stops when you say that and says, unsafe? What? How would it be unsafe? I mean, he's a Marine. What kind of unsafe? And Coombs comes up and touches you on the shoulder and says, ma'am, we need to keep going, as the wind, the rain.
And I'll hold a finger out to him and I'll say, they saw lights down at the boathouse, and I don't know what that means. I assume they're not bringing us into gunfire, but if they are, we're turning around.
That stops her. She starts walking. The three of you are walking. She leans. She says, "So lights? Could it be the rescue person? The person who's bringing us back?"
It's doubtful. I believe that if it's anything, it's someone that we probably aren't expecting. And if you don't want to do this, we can pull out right now.
Well, do you think? And she stops again.
And I'll take the time. I'll take whatever time she needs.
Do you think we should be doing this? As the wind's buffeting you guys, more rain is coming in.
What I'll say is that if I feel that it's unnecessary at all, or if you feel that way, we'll leave. It's that simple.
Okay, all right. Again, you feel Coombs' tablet showing, ma'am, we really need to keep moving.
No, slightly ruder. 1 second.
All right, so she again walks. You guys make it down to the backside, down the stairs, across the walkway to the door of the boat room. As you're approaching the boat room, you've got lights coming out, and that light is illuminating Cole Baird, who is standing outside. You did not have your weapon out, did you?
No, I would have holstered it.
Okay, so he's just standing there. Looks like he's doing the... You're kind of a psychologist as well, so that inward thinking kind of...
I'm staring at the sky.
Oh, wrong direction. I was looking floor. He's staring at the sky.
So not
but
a great...
you see him right outside.
not
a great
start.
But I can say this, with all the wind and everything, you do not hear gunfire, and though there are none. No, there's two. There are two lights from very small holes in the side of the building. There's no other movement than that.
I'm going to have her behind me, absolutely.
Okay. And so you just follow Coombs in. So Coombs comes in, he says, Sarge, I have
the doc.
Well, she came with the nurse, Sarge. There's nothing I could do about it. But I've got Leanne, and he looks over and he's waiting for you guys to come in. And as you come in, he says, Nurse Leanne, Sarge, and the doc.
Then I pump with my boot.
And the guy, as he hits the floor again.
Right, I hit him again until he starts saying something in the language that he knows.
So
he's eventually going to be like, you motherfucker!
Right, and that's it. He finally turns around and yells at you.
Mix, and I look at her. You know what he said?
I'm sorry, Sargent, is it? I'm not going to repeat that.
But you do understand
Good.
what
So you understand
saying.
what he says?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Good,
yeah.
I need you to translate these questions for us. And relay the answers back to us.
So she looks at you.
In English.
And I'm just kind of trying to express to her, if you want out, we're going.
So she looks at you. You seem to be giving her it's okay. And she goes, yes, Mr. Sergeant.
Sarge.
Yes, Sarge.
Yes, ma'am. Right. Can you come over here, please?
She again looks at you, Dr. Langtree.
And I'll go with her.
All right,
and
so she walks over, and the
guy...
So
I want to observe, am I observing some type of communication between the doctor
The unspoken kind?
Yeah,
yes.
am I kind of... She looking for approval from her?
Yes.
Okay.
You are definitely reading that. But as soon... And Langtree has not held it back. Okay. So every time that she's looked to her, she's been like, go.
All right. Langtree, I got a bear you for you. If you want to help some of the injured, I've got a few injured near the boat over there. You might be able to tend their wounds. We don't have medical expertise on site, but you'd be more than happy to assess their injuries. It'd be a great help.
And because if I look over there, are they like moving? Are they breathing at all?
Well, what you see so the closest dock to you, or the closest opening to you, is empty.
Okay.
Again, garage door is up. The wind is making noise and swirling. The rain is coming in. There's periodically the thunder hits. In the next section, there is a boat. You can see the two Marines that you know, Navarro and Stevens. Mm-hmm. They are both there with weapons pointed into the boat. You can just see three bodies, and when I say bodies, there's three forms in there. Okay. They don't seem to be dead or holding their backs or anything. Just seem to be held in place.
I'll walk with Leanne over to them,
yep.
And then I'll tell her, I'm gonna go check them out.
She gets a little wide-eyed, but she says, "Oh, okay."
And then I'm gonna look at Coombs.
Leanne looks at you.
Is Coombs still down here?
Coombs is still there. Yeah, he's standing at the door.
I'm gonna look at him, and I'd like to imbibe it with the knowledge that I'm holding him accountable at this point. Whether or not he picks it up, that's the energy I'm projecting.
I like it. Just give me a straight empathy roll. No stress dice or anything like that. I like that. That's kind of cool.
Remember, this is a Colonial Marine, trained Colonial Marine, not a simple Marine, a crack squad Marine.
He is a crack squad.
He should be unwavering in his demeanor.
However, this is the doc who fixed him up, who has said, "Hey, you need one more minute of rest than the sergeant gave you." It's not like he's going to go, "I want that rest."
Undermining you.
And see, I'm trying to say that that's not what's happening, but it's the respect for the doc and what the doc is. But you think he's read you. You think
Okay.
that, all right? You have that feel. You said 3 successes, right? Yeah, you think you feel that. But he doesn't do anything. Rictor, he doesn't do anything outwardly at all. He's not like, gotcha. Or
let me know if I notice him.
if you're vibing that.
Yeah, if I'm getting that vibe, like, what are you working for her now? You know, like, I can bring him back to speed real quick.
Asked to restrain the doctor?
No,
He wasn't
Coombs
up
was
there
not.
yet.
Coombs
Okay.
has been out of it. The other two have been the ones who've been asked to restrain the doc.
Okay.
And she's approaching them now. So, with you, Leanne says, Mr. Sarge, what would you, do you want me to ask him something?
Cole.
So now you're hollering, Cole!
Yeah.
Because he's outside.
I'm just staring up. This is such a shit show.
And you feel a touch on your left shoulder, and as Coombs says, Marshall, the Sarge is asking for you.
Oh, all right.
I didn't know if you heard, sir.
I'm like looking around, like, oh shit, hold on, what the hell here? Okay.
I remember
As you take your hat off and dump water.
Yeah, I am remembering at this point that he said go ahead and interrogate here.
Yeah.
So what that means to us, what that probably means to him, are two different things.
I would guess.
But
So I'll follow.
but I'll wait for him. You know.
I'll come in.
Well,
Slap
Coombs doesn't
down.
walk into the sergeant. He's like, he wants you to come in. When you come in, Coombs maintains his position at the door.
That's fine. That's fine. What I mean is, as I go in.
So as you come in, what you see is Dr. Langtree is now walking down the side, one of the side docks, to obviously either look into or get into the boat where the 2 Marines and the other 3 UPP are, and then directly ahead of you, there's one of the ladies from the shuttle who is currently standing and looking down at the guy that Rictor has his foot on and is talking to Rictor.
Oh shit. Okay. Langtree's here. That'll happen. All right. Rictor, what's going on? And do I know? I don't know the nurse, so I don't know who this other person
So
is.
you don't know the nurse in the sense that I don't think you know her by name, but
Yeah.
you've been around all of these long
Okay.
enough. It's only 23 total people, so you would know her by sight.
What was her name? I can't remember.
You don't remember.
Oh,
her name.
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Howdy, ma'am.
So for the group here, I'm going to ask you one more thing that is important. I don't know if you changed it from last time, but real quick, Cole Baird, your rival and your buddy.
Oh, my buddy is Rictor, and my rival is Bateman.
Gotcha. Okay, Dr. Langtree.
My buddy is Lance, and I don't have a rival because it's everybody else.
Got it. Sergeant Rictor.
My buddy's Cole Baird and my rival's Lance Bateman at the moment.
Very good. And Lance Bateman.
You just stood there too.
I'm not even in the
Well, nothing's
scene.
changed since the last time. So, you know, the way I see the rivals and the buddies, they'll change as certain situations present themselves. Like,
Sure.
Like, you know, if you know, the doctor gives, you know, the Sarge too much pushback, she may become the rival.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
she's a
yeah.
And
pain
this,
in the
this
ass.
is
think
why I'm
they're
asking.
nebulous.
So for the session, we know who we're looking at.
I just
I'm, I'm the easy target.
I just
So
think it's funny
that's a
that,
good.
like, Lance just stood in a corner and he's everyone's
So Lance.
So
rival
my
and
buddy is Dr. Langtree, and my rival is also Sergeant Rictor.
Perfect. All right. So back to you, Sergeant Rictor. So
All right.
Cole's told you that.
So he comes up, I take my foot off the individual, all right?
And so the guy rolls over, not fast, but he rolls over with his hands out and moves himself to a sitting position with his hands palms facing down on the deck.
All right. I keep my gun on him,
Yep.
right? And I say, we got this gal here, they speak the same language, so ask away.
Marshall, I should be able to. I mean, there may be some dialectic words different or accents, but I should be able to at least get the point across.
Well, I kindly thank you for coming down and out of the rain to help out. We just got to figure out what was going on here. These folk came armed. We got to make sure everything's all right. Now, can you let's start with the basics. Ask him what his name is. Let's see if he's even going to tell us that.
So she speaks to him, and he looks at her, and Rictor, you know what he's saying, even without understanding the words, because he says it exactly the way you would. He gives her his name, rank and serial number, and that's it. So she...
Okay, so name. So name was
Yeah.
the first thing, right?
So she nods, and she looks at you, and she says that, Marshall, his full name?
Sure, let's start with the full name.
It's Albert Chiang.
Okay, Albert. All right.
Chang.
Okay.
And so you say that, and she looks at you, she says, Sarge, it's Chiang.
What I said, man. Just...
all right, could you please...
She just nods and looks away from you.
Can you,
Clean your ears out.
yeah, let's go ahead
raining out
and
here.
just set up the ground rules for this with him. Could you please kind of let him know that I'm the marshal. I'm Marshall Baird, and that
And
if
she's
he-
talking, she's looking at you, but talking to him.
Perfect. And I just want to let you know I'm the marshal of these parts, so the best way that we can go about this would be for you to go ahead and be forthcoming with information with me, because above my jurisdiction is Sargent here, and well, if I'm unfruitful with this, well, then I'm going to have to leave you in the hands of him, and we have very different tactics for finding out what's going on.
So
Go ahead. I'll say, go ahead
So
and nod.
he's still the way he is, which is facing you, Sarge. He now looks at you, and you can see him moving slowly, but he turns himself around again. His palms on the deck. Turns himself around and is now facing with the back of his head to you.
Well, I'm not going to let him get that far.
Okay,
He
you're gonna
starts
try
to
stop
move.
him. He's turning.
I'm not going to
towards-
stop him. I'm just going to move with him.
All right. So
Look
he
at him.
turns around. So you now are standing shoulder
I
to shoulder.
don't want to
with
give up my intimidation factor that I think
Cole.
I might have.
So you're going to stand either shoulder to shoulder with Cole, or you're going to be just behind Cole with the gun still trained on him, but he's turned around to you.
I'm going to actually crouch a little lower and be a little bit in front, kind of impose like, don't you hear what I'm saying? Like he's talking to me, but this guy's talking for me. You see? You got a name? Like, you know how they just, come on, spit it out now.
Okay.
You know?
All right, so let's go ahead and start with what y'all doing out here? Why are you coming out to this abandoned place?
What y'all doing out here?
So she,
What kind of mission are you on? Huh? Do you hear that? What are you doing? What are y'all doing out here?
Wait, okay, so now are they?
it's all about
that-
delivery.
yeah.
Is that group not supposed to be in these parts? Like,
So there is no. We established this last time, but there is no reason the UPP should be out. So let me give you a quick quick background. So New Dallas is endeavoring to be its own autonomous colony. Weyland-Yutani set up the atmospheric generators. Weyland-Yutani had a long-term lease on it. They are going to still be pulling a large percentage. You wouldn't know, but Cole Baird knows. A large percentage of the money that's being made and generated from this colony for years to come is just going into Weyland-Yutani's coffers. But they are trying to step away and become an autonomous colony, their own separate group. So no corporation is officially connected to them or here, but the UPP has, as a government, has no connection to them and should have no connection to them.
Now, and it's
They
not.
shouldn't be on here unless a UPP, somebody of the UPP, could be coming to visit Dr. Langtree.
Okay, so it's not that their organization, their status is
They're not
illegal
space
in any
pirates.
way.
No, but there should not be somebody here from the SOF. And if they're coming to visit their friend Dr. Langtree, hopefully they don't come with 7 other buddies, all of them touting weapons.
Yes. Okay.
And so-
And that's the military force.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As
You
a-
don't know yet that they've found the SOF dog
Yeah.
tags. What I'm saying is, UPP, as the UPP, they shouldn't be here. As just a person who is a citizen of the UPP, that'd be like somebody coming over here from Russia and saying, "Hey,
Okay.
how's it going?"
See, that's what I need to
Yeah,
get. Okay.
totally.
Excellent. Okay. So yeah, why y'all here?
I have a question too.
Yes.
The civilian perspective, would I just be kind of like, these are people, or would I feel like uncomfortable around them?
So it's completely your choice on how you
Okay.
view them, because, and this is where you're at, because they are guys that the military is holding in definite, like, dangerous regard.
Mhm.
You can see that they came in here with an intent. It's just obvious.
Yeah.
You saw bullet holes coming down here, so somebody shot. You might be nervous about that, just as human beings know. But it would be like if you were, today I would imagine a nurse being brought in to take care of a number of the Taliban that have been captured by, U.S. Marines. Yeah, you might be uncomfortable because of how they got here, but they are just people.
Okay.
They're theoretically humans.
Okay.
So she talks to him, she talks with him, and he talks back and forth with her a couple of times, and she says, So, Marshall and Sarge, if I'm understanding it correctly, they are here to simply retrieve their... And she asks him a question, and he says something back. And you see that he's taken one full step down in stress as an easy connecting. He's taken a full, like, okay, I feel a little calmer right now. I can talk a little smoother, right? Which doesn't necessarily mean he's telling the truth more. It just means that he seems to be comfortable a step more. And just, I figure that's a great way to give you guys a feeling for where he's at, as that stress level's gone down by 1. So she says they're here to pick up the, and she asks one more time, she says they're here to pick up the components that they brought here. I'm not sure I'm getting all of it, but my understanding is that there's apparently equipment on this oil rig that was brought in by, and she asks them a question, and she says, or she looks perplexed and says, apparently that was lent to Weyland-Yutani by their military force. I'm sorry, I don't know the SOF. Oh, and then she will reiterate that the name, as it clicks to her, the Space Operating Forces. Oh, okay. So they are with the Space Operating Forces. Apparently, they had lent Weyland-Yutani some items here on the rig, and they were simply coming in to retrieve them.
In the middle of the night, armed like this?
Well, and as she says that to you, like, it all clicks in her head. She doesn't seem like she's dumb, and like suddenly she's like, wait a minute, right? But she looks at you, and you say that, and she says that to him, and he gets a smile on his face, and he says, yes, well, during the day, that would create issues with the workers that are on the rig here.
All right, so I'm going to grab him. I'm going to grab him by the nape of the neck.
She rolls back.
And I'm going to put his head in the water.
Oh, God. Rictor, God damn it, that's not what... This is my show right now. You pull that man out.
Do I need to make any kind of roll?
Nothing yet. Okay, nobody can stop.
I've got him out of the water, right? So I'm just looking at the thing, and I'm like, 2 more seconds.
God damn it, Rictor.
That's probably long enough. All right, ask him again.
So for you, I want you to give me a manipulation.
Okay. Manipulation roll. So I have 2 dice. Okay, plus 7 stress dice.
Am I far enough away that I don't hear that?
Well, with the wind and the rain, and if you're focused, you start hearing Sarge yelling at him.
You hear?
I got 2 hits. I got 2 successes, but I did get 1 alien.
So go ahead and give me your panic roll.
I rolled a 2.
Which puts you
9.
at 9. That's so awesome.
Cool. You got to do an action.
And I get a stunt.
All right, so I'm going to start with what happens. With level 9, your stress increases 1 more level.
Okay, all right.
And when this is all said and done, he's fighting, you're fighting. What 9 is drop item. And the only item in your hand is him.
Oh my god.
So as he's fighting,
my pulse rifle as well.
Well, I'm not going to have you drop the pulse rifle. I guarantee if you're going to drop something, you're going to drop him in the water, which is what you do.
Okay.
So what did you do with your 2 manipulation, the success and then?
So let's see. So I'm holding his head under the water, and he just from his scrambling, he just falls in.
You're pulling. Well, keep in mind.
Like, man overboard.
Well, keep in mind that you're on a dock where to put him in there, you've got him off balance. Your musculature is holding him from falling off the edge.
All right.
It's not inches. It's probably 2 feet to the water. And remember that we're moving water, so it's 2 feet 8 inches. 2 feet 8 inches.
So with my I'm successful. You see, your adversary must either do what you want or immediately attack you physically. Well, if he's in the water,
that's standard manipulation. Yep.
With the stunts, I'm going to use your opponent does more than you ask for. For example, giving you some useful piece of information. Details are up to the GM.
All right, and your total was 2?
Yeah, so I have 1 success and then 1 stunt.
Oh, all right. But 2 successes, and it's manipulation, so he's got a chance to defend against it.
Yes, he needs.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So, you've dropped him in the water. So, Langtree, do you feel that you would have reacted? You do hear Cole Baird holler.
Yeah. So for me, my priority would first be Leanne, and then the people I'm working with.
Well, as you look up immediately, Leanne has kind of rolled back, and she looks a little nervous. She's just basically moved away from the dock, right to the wall. She's not cowering or shivering. Okay. She's just moved back from something that's happening. Cole is currently yelling at Rictor, who is over the edge, and you can see somebody's splashing in the water right now.
Have I ascertained if the bodies in this boat are alive or dead?
Oh yeah, they're alive. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me start again. One is dead. The 3 guys are fine. They look nervous and roughed up.
Okay, then I'm going to go back over there.
No, we killed all of those guys.
No, the 3 in this boat you guys took.
She went to the other boat. She went to the boat where the 4 guys were dead, right?
No,
One of the boats is out, gone.
The dead guys are in the boat.
This is the only boat. So yeah, it's okay. There's 3 there. There's 3 fresh ones that are just
so
surrendered.
so to give you an idea, there's 3 dead bodies in the boat that is backing out just loose.
That's right.
The 4th of that boat is right there now in the water in front of you.
Yeah.
3 bodies in the one that she's in are alive. There's 1 dead body in that one as well.
All right.
So once I realized that they were alive and none of them are shot or anything.
I don't remember anyone getting shot. No.
Isn't that what we know? We had a gunfight. I think that's exactly what happened.
But these 3 remaining
These
prisoners?
3 stepped back. We're like, we give up.
So my understanding was that there were 4 in the first boat closest to me.
Yep.
Sergeant Rictor. 1 got out. And so there were left 3 in that boat.
As it hit.
There were 4 in the other boat. They all got killed, but that boat's outside.
Yes.
So what we should have is 3 that are unwounded in the boat, and then 1 guy that's just now overboard.
Yes.
Effectively, yes. That's what I've said.
Okay.
Yes.
So there shouldn't be anyone dead in this boat.
Oh, that's what you're thinking, is that all 4 were out of this boat that are alive. Okay, so no, there's not a dead person. There are 3 in here.
Okay, so once I asked him if they were okay, I would have asked if any of them speak English.
They all look at you.
Sounds like a no. And, I mean, if they were fine, I would go back over to Leanne.
Okay, and you don't really get finished. You hear the commotion, so you quickly set yourself up, hop over, and you're walking over there.
Yeah.
So, Rictor.
Well, I'll offer to help him out of the water.
All right, now when you say offer to help...
I hold my hand down.
Oh, all right.
And I'll either grab him or hold my hand down.
Well, that's my question. Which approach?
Is he flailing or is he just in the water?
Well, he's righting himself right now, so it's flailing only because he's trying to get his head back up.
I'm going to grab him and pull him up.
And pull him back up. Yeah. All right, so go ahead and just give me nothing attitude. Just give me a standard strength roll. Just strength.
Strength. Okay.
Yep.
Strength. So here we go. All right. Just raw strength. All right.
Just raw strength.
I've got 1 hit.
All right. So you pull him up, and he wants to be out, so he's going to help you get him up. So you pull him up, drenched. Cole, what are you doing? You're hollering as, hey, don't do this.
Yeah, I'm just like, Rictor, what are you doing?
Extracting information, sir.
You didn't even let me get through any more questioning. You just dumped him in the water.
And Langtree, you're coming in just
I didn't actually mean to dump him into the water. He fell in.
And I go back to Leanne, and I'm going to say, are you okay?
I'm okay.
I think he's lying.
I'm okay.
I know it's not pretty, but...
What are they trying to do?
Okay, well, let's ask him some more questions. Please don't dunk him in. You can do your interrogation if mine fails.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to say, what exactly are you trying to get from them?
We're trying to figure out why these folk came down here in the middle of the night with heavy weaponry to come down to an abandoned oil rig. This is the kind of thing that would fall under my jurisdiction, and the fact that we just got shot out of the air might be a little bit suspicious, seeing the UPP, riding up here with heavy weaponry.
And I'm going to just lean over and whisper into Leanne's ear.
Well, as you turn to her,
yeah,
she has taken on a shade of white. She definitely, this interaction, she's now realizing what she's doing down here. She looks a whole lot more uncomfortable. But you whispered to her.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, are you still comfortable doing this?
If you think I should, I can.
That's not what I asked, Leanne.
Do we overhear anything?
No, she's actually whispering, and the wind and the rain are still loud enough.
I mean, it doesn't matter what I want right now or them. This is a serious thing they're asking of you, and I don't know where this is going to end.
Do they have weapons?
Does she mean the UPP or the other, or our people?
You don't know.
So I'll say who.
The man. Does he have his weapons? I mean, am I in danger?
I don't think you're in danger from these men. I feel that they have them under control.
Oh, okay. She says, I'll do it. I'll do it. And so she moves off of the wall and back over. So the guy is just kind of sitting drowned rat style. The water is still kind of pouring out of his clothing because the entirety of him went in the water. And he's not necessarily looking at you, Cole, but you got his general attention, you and Rictor. And Leanne comes over and she says, Marshall, was that it?
No, Leanne, thank you for sticking around.
Of course. Hey, anything to help. You don't think that's really what she wants to say?
Well, I'll say, all right. Well, could you ask them? Let me see here. So they said that they were just here to pick up stuff. What do I want?
He said that they came here to pick up the stuff that Weyland-Yutani borrowed from them. And the reason why they came at night was not to interrupt the crew that was on the rig.
All right. So I'll crouch down. Actually, no, that's right. I don't want to be too far because she has to translate. Could you please tell him that that's utter horse shit? This place has clearly been abandoned, and well, if that were true, why the weaponry? What if there was someone here? You gonna shoot him for your stuff? Well, that seems mighty illegal.
So she looks at you,
and I want to get across. So ask him again. What else are they here for? Why the weaponry? And, why the weaponry then?
So you can see something changes in her. She's realized something, because you read people all the time. Something's changed, and she turns to him, and you see this too. Again, we're overshouting the rain and stuff, but you can see she's a little bit angry. And so she says something to him, and he snaps from his, drowned rat look and looks at her and says something back. And they're arguing. They're not yelling, but they are definitely arguing. And eventually she's putting her hand up and, kind of wagging the finger.
Weird.
And he gets his hands up and he looks defensive. Not offensive, like I'm going to hit her.
If it looks like he's about ready to jump and make a move, I'm going to crack him.
Aware of that.
All right.
And he yells something back, and she yells something to him, and he drops his head, and you can see he's just breathing for 2 breaths, and then he looks at her, and he says something to her, and she nods her head and looks at you and says,
what did he say?
Well, Sargent, if you'll give me a moment. So, he said that they are coming here to take back what Weyland-Yutani stole from them. He said he knows the rig is defunct. And they're here to take back what was theirs. Weyland-Yutani stole something. I don't know what it is, but she tells you a collection of numbers. Make a contact roll. She tells you a collection of numbers and says he's looking for this.
This is just a bunch of goddamn numbers.
She says, he seemed to be very definite on what this item is. And Rictor?
Let me roll my 17 dice.
Holy nothing good is
Highly
going to
stressed
come.
Oh, I'm about to say I didn't get any whammies. I did get a whammy. But I did get one. Out of all that, I got one hit.
Success of one.
Come on.
I love this game.
All right,
so go ahead and give me the panic test.
All right, that's a 3 plus 8 is 11.
Okay. So at this point, Rictor, you're done with this. You want to kill this guy. You're just like, he's lying. Just shoot this guy to make him an example for the rest of them. But realizing the marshal's there, realizing the doctor's there, what you rolled was seek cover. You get frustrated and you walk away. Something to the effect of, look, Marshall, you get something out of this guy. This is fucking bullshit. You get something out of this guy now. And you walk away. All you do is basically walk to the far side, but you take a breather. You're kind of contemplating what's your next step. Because it'd be really easy to just put a gun to the back of his head.
I tell the marshal this. I say, Marshal, let me know when you're ready for me to take over. I'll be right over here.
All right, Rictor, you take a breather.
So your stress level decreases by 1.
Nice.
However,
That's awesome.
with him leaving and putting you guys into that spot where he's not there and that gun's not there, Cole, you raise your stress level by 1, and Dr. Langtree, you will be raising your stress level by 1 as Sergeant Rictor gets frustrated with the situation and storms off and away, and he's now away from you guys without the gun. Now, Leanne looks very nervous at this point, but she's looking at you, Cole, and she says, what? She says, I'm sorry, I don't understand. He seems to be telling you guys what you want. I mean, he was lying to begin with. That was obvious. But now he seems to be telling you what you want. Why is the sergeant so mad?
Well, I think he's a little upset with the whole situation.
What the numbers are, and the reason why you got so pissed off, is the numbers are for the unit that you were trying to get back up and running that Bateman used to make the contact. It is basically the comm system or the comm unit for the rig.
Well, that's what these guys are here to take.
That's what they said they're here to get.
Okay,
that was what
Wayland
Yutani took from them, and they're taking it back.
So, one thing that Lance Bateman recalls before he sent a message from said Comtech console was that there was a signal that was going out from the station.
Yes.
So that signal, like when that panel was destroyed, it was not. Would that have stopped the signal, or would that in other words, was the signal coming from the panel, or is the panel just observing the signal occurring from the station?
No. So I'll answer what you were asking. Destroying the panel does not guarantee that the signal stops going out. It does put you in a position where you can't do anything until the panel's repaired to stop the signal, read the signal, change the signal.
Yeah, that kind of. So like there's some equipment on the roof or something, or.
Yep, exactly. Cool. So anyway, that's your frustration at this point. So the thing that you, Sergeant Rictor, want to basically break into and get into, they're saying we're here for that too.
Well, good. So once my emotions, once I collect myself to a point, I'm going to try and come to the realization that these guys know how to work this thing maybe better than I do. Maybe they're worth something. We need to drag them up to the comms array and see if they can talk to the machine.
So,
but he's not there yet.
Okay.
So Cole, you and potentially Dr. Langtree.
So I mean, these guys are pretty shat of luck. I mean, they're foreign nationals coming in with weaponry.
Yep.
So
simple things for you as the Marshal.
No.
There is zero problem with you tossing these guys into jail.
Oh yeah.
Zero.
Oh no, they're going.
Right.
Field execution.
Right. So there's zero problem with that.
What's the field execution rules? Langtree, what's that over there?
Whoops, damn hair trigger.
Well, son of a bitch, the gun just went off on its own.
So you know that you can arrest them. You know that you can interrogate them. You can choose what type of marshal you are, and you can choose to violently interrogate them, but that is not normal SOP. That's not the normal thing that you do.
Yeah.
But it's how do you want to be as a marshal?
A lot of paperwork as a marshal, so we don't have to do that paperwork in the Marine Corps.
You could, because they... Actually, you still don't know. The only one who knows that they're SOF is you, correct? Did Baird realize
They
that?
said
Does he
SOF.
know that
He
yet?
didn't make the check.
All right.
So here's what
She
I'm going to do.
translated that they were SOF.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
So, in addition, you know that they are SOF, which means if you want it off your plate, Cole Baird, these guys are military. Sargent can take care of it, and it can be completely... You don't have to deal with it at all. So, you have a lot of options, and they have none. These four guys have none.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. So Baird just went outside, correct?
No,
Rictor went outside.
Rictor went outside.
Sergeant Rictor went to the far side of the
Okay.
building. He is not outside.
So I need to go talk to him. So what I'm going to say is, all right. Well, I appreciate your help. We might need to call on you again. Here in a little bit. But for right now, I think that's it. I want you to tell him that him and his friends are under arrest, and as long as they don't cause me no problems, they won't get any problems from me.
She nods her head, and she says it to him, and he looks up at you and just kind of gives you the, yeah, right, buddy. But he looks at her and says something that sounds very nice, and she says, he understands.
I'll say, all right, and I'll look for the other. Is there another Marine near me?
Coombs is right behind you
I'll
at the
say,
door.
all right, Coombs, could you please come secure this man? I need to go talk to the Rictor.
So Coombs right into his mic. Sarge, secure him.
I look over like,
You're looking back.
and I turn around like, yeah, secure him.
So Coombs goes over. basically stands behind him, pushes his head down, not smashes it down, pushes his head down, is holding the gun on. So, Langtree, you and Miss Ming watch Coombs come in, just matter-of-factly take control. And he's just, Coombs is looking at you, just kind of...
Yeah, at this point, I think that's probably the safest option, arresting them.
So, Baird, you walk over to Sergeant Rictor.
Yeah. All right. Rictor, I need you to get yourself together. Come on.
Can't believe anyone's buying this bullshit story.
Now, Rictor, I don't know what the shit they want here. Okay, clearly they want something. Under my jurisdiction, these SOBs, they're under arrest, of course. Thing is, military operations, these are SOF, that ain't exactly my jurisdiction, that's your jurisdiction. So as far as I'm concerned, I got them under arrest, and under the laws bestowed of me by the marshals, what have you, that's what is going to stay. Now, if somebody from the military wanted to try and figure out if there was some military reason that the SOF were here, well, that would be out of my hands. That sounds like a military operation. I've done what I can. They're here for some equipment. I don't really care much else why. That's outside of my scope and caring. I know they'd be just arrested for being on this planet with weapons and in a military fashion. In which case, when I arrested them, I'd call the military. And since you're already here, well, bud, they're under arrest. Go ahead and figure out if you need to. I'm gonna try and get what's going on further, if you so choose. Otherwise, let's keep them under arrest until we get you back.
I think I understand. So we will go ahead and assess them for, military interests, and upon discovery that we are not able to ascertain any pertinent military threatening information, then we will hand them over to local authorities.
That sounds excellent.
Yeah, great. Could you remove the civilians except for the Asian gal?
Yes, I'll
get the doctor there.
I'll get Langtree. See if we can get Langtree back.
I think they're on. Maybe they're onto something. The two of them. I don't know, but
I'll say, all right. Well,
might be best if we separate the two of them.
I'll go talk to Langtree.
Meet us back up top.
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go to Langtree.
And
Yeah.
I go in. I take off my hat.
Yeah.
I jump out.
so as you're walking back, like, so again, you've stayed in the boathouse. So as you're walking back, you kind of take your hat off.
Take it off. Dr. Langtree, might I have a word with you, please?
Sure.
I've handed these nice folks over to the military.
I'm kind of like folding the edge of my hat a little bit. I feel a need to apologize to you. This has been mighty stressful, and I can't say that I have behaved in the full martial capacity that I should be in my position. So I would like to apologize first off to you. Seeing as you're the doctor here, we're gonna be probably seeing a lot of each other. I think we should not have that animosity.
Yeah, I'm willing to make nice. Sure.
I apologize. I know things got heated with regard to Bateman, but let's try and move forward.
Lance Bateman will await his apology at a later time.
He'll make
Bateman it. Will die. My apology for you is carved in a bullet.
Hey, every time you see the marshal, he's writing little lines on a bullet. LB.
You fucking suck.
Apology back here. Now, I was just
Every
talking.
time you go in the marshal's office, there's another fucking bullet up on this thing, and you come in and you're like, "Sorry, what, Marshal? What are all those things?" Like, I got a bullet for every person that's done me wrong. They all say Lance Bateman.
I didn't mean to talk to that man.
We'll have a long conversation. But yeah, I'll say, I accept your apology, and I'm very willing to play nice. We will work together for the foreseeable future, and it would be nice if we had good working rapport.
I'd like to agree. Now, I was just talking with the sergeant. So, these men here, they are clearly in violation, coming onto the planet with military weapons. This is This is highly illegal. By my standards, they're arrested. Unfortunately, that was it. Well, then we would just throw them in somewhere, tie them up until evac comes, take them to the jail, and have them processed by law. Fortunately, I've done all I can at this point. Rictor wants to take over because, fortunately, he said that this is a military operation. Now, being as such, I've done what I can. I've arrested these men. He's asked that I see if I can get you to go on back up. He wants to keep the nice nurse here so they can continue their questioning of these men. I'm going to impose on Rictor to keep these men as safe as possible, as they need to be persecuted to the fullest extent.
Persecuted.
Great word, right?
You might
Prosecuted?
turn away while I persecute these men.
Prosecuted is the right word.
Thank you.
Persecuted was a better
Persecuted.
word.
One was a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, that's great.
Cole's really stressed at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize. I mean, prosecuted. It's been stressful. The point is, I'm going to do what I can to, put in Rictor's ear not to go too excessive. So, my question to you is, will you come back up top and try and help me keep these civilians calm? I think now we got a boat here. Worst case, if evac doesn't come by morning, we can at least send some people back to town and try and get something out here. Happy to go, try and get an evac as soon as possible. But I want to try and get all the civilians, make sure everyone's safe. What do you say, Doctor?
To clarify, you're giving authority of these prisoners to Sergeant Rictor, who appears to be as bloodthirsty as they come. He's going to interrogate these prisoners, and you'd like me to use my nurse for that and leave her alone with them.
I wouldn't say so much that I gave him these men as it was
You let it go then.
taken away from me.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything more. It just makes you look more of a coward.
Ooh.
We just watched him throw a man into the water.
He fell into the water.
I am not leaving my nurse
I was
here
merely
alone.
trying to drown him.
Would you feel better if I stayed here with your nurse to keep an eye on her, make sure she's safe, these men are safe?
What I have seen so far, that would not comfort me.
Dr. Langtree, this is out of my hands. There's not a lot I can do in this situation.
There's not a lot you're choosing to do. That's accurate.
What would you have me do, Dr. Langtree? What would you have me do different when faced with military force and military force? There's not a lot that I have in my jurisdiction.
You don't have to bend over.
You don't have to guide him in.
I'll say, alright, now, Langtree, don't really like that tone.
I don't like any of this.
I don't like any of this either.
I'm done listening to you. What I've seen so far of you is cowardly and mean. And I'm not interested in running a city with you. I'm not interested in being a part of a community with you.
Better write to Congressman.
But I am. And I'd like to preserve what relationship we can. This is not the way to do it. I'm not feeding my nerves to the shark in there.
Now, you do have a Hippocratic oath to attend any wounded on site.
Yeah, which I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this point. So, barring any further injuries, I mean, you at least will cooperate to a point. At least as much as we need.
And I think she has.
Yeah.
So I'm not leaving. And you can do whatever you'd like to do, but I'd like that you would care about the citizens of this planet. That nurse is one of those citizens. And you're going to have her witness whatever atrocities Rictor's going to do. You're going to ask her to help.
No, Rictor is. Oh. So as he walks away...
Yeah, alright,
you know,
fine. You know what? She's goaded me a little bit.
Nice.
I'll say, alright, fine. Now, I can't say that these folk are citizens of this planet. They happen to be on this planet. I don't know yet. You're right.
I'm talking about Leanne right now. Leanne is a citizen. She's one of the nurses working in the hospital in the town that you'll be serving. And she does not deserve to have to watch someone torture or help them torture someone.
Well, you know what? I can't argue with that.
Which is strong.
Okay. Well, you know what then?
Right there, person.
let's make this a good old split between jurisdictions. How about that? And I'm gonna go and say, you know what? I'll take care of this. Then I'm gonna go over to Rictor again. I'm gonna say, all right, listen, Rictor. We ain't interrogating these folk here. I need you. When we get back to town, you can go ahead, take this to the military outpost. You can interrogate them all you want here. I'm not gonna have you interrogate them in front of these civilians.
Well, that's why I want you to assist the doctor.
Doctor ain't
around
gonna
here.
leave. She's the unmovable rock to my unrelenting force.
So we could bring doctor and interpreter up to speed on the risks that they're taking, and assure them that in no way would any harm be coming to them, and let them make their own individual choices
Rictor,
from that point.
Rictor, you and I both know that those boys ain't gonna make it out of your interrogation unscathed.
They probably won't make it out unscathed, you're right, but they'll make it out alive.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say, I ain't gonna have it. Not here, Rictor. Right now, this plan's my jurisdiction.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pull that out, pulling the book out.
Well, can we at least then detain them as our own prisoners?
We can detain them, yes.
All right.
We're gonna have to find some place. We're gonna go ahead and keep them detained. They are joint custody of ours for right now.
All right.
So
I do suggest that we place some type of blinding device over their heads so that they don't recognize anyone of the civilians, just for their own safety. It may seem crude, but there's a reason why we do it this way.
I think that's reasonable.
All right.
I think that's fine. We don't need to endanger these folk anymore. Last thing we need is some military operation come here.
Hey, wait a minute. Something just dawned on me. These guys said they were after commune.
That's what they're here for.
Maybe.
That's what those goddamn numbers were. A comm unit.
Yeah, it's the comm unit that Bateman sent the message from. They might know how to work it better than we do.
Okay.
Wouldn't be out of line to put them to work while we were waiting, right?
Is that comm unit something, Barry, that I would know if it's movable? Is it built into an entire system, or is it like there's a hard drive that can be removed?
My memory is you have yet to be inside.
I mean, in general.
No, I'm saying you've
yeah.
yet to be inside. So I also don't think. Do you have any ComTech? I don't think it's even.
I do have one ComTech.
You do? Go ahead and give me a ComTech roll if you'd like to. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine.
I don't want to think about it right now.
And I'd accept that because the reality is your character probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So the unit, I mean, you're not sure what it is, but yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say, look, is there any way, do you have a ComTech expert on your team right now?
You're looking at them.
Okay, excellent. One of these things movable? Can you take out the hard drive, plug it in when we get back to base?
So I'm assuming that these things are linked to some type of network, multiple
on the other
devices,
side
and
of
the
it,
infrastructure built in. I mean, it's not just like go unplug one bay somewhere and some server rack and you're good.
So,
no,
so you, Sergeant Rictor,
it's integrated
as
across
ComTech,
the entire network, right?
You know what this thing is. When they're talking about removing the unit, they are probably honestly talking about taking the physical
the actual
unit, right?
Yeah,
so
the hardware.
unscrewing it, unplugging it, disconnecting electricity wire. It's probably a 4-hour job with the 4 of them disconnecting everything, unscrewing all the stuff, and then it's not a light device. It's going to be some work to get it out.
But something that can be taken.
Oh, without a doubt. 8 of them with the 2 boats could easily have taken the unit we're talking about. And it wouldn't probably have taken them that long. Certainly under the cover of night, no one would have seen it.
I'll say, look, now.
We can use the interpreter to let them know that.
Rictor, now
fix the comm unit.
we're not going to worry about that right now. Right now, we need to worry about getting our people back before we do any military operations. Now, this is my final thing. We're going to detain these I keep wanting to say hostages, but these prisoners. We're going to take them back, process them, and you guys can go ahead and get on with the military operations and whatnot. But right now, my job, get everybody back. And if that means I say wait till morning. If we don't get evac, someone's gonna go in one of these boats. We're gonna see if we can find out what's going on so we can get these folks home. Then, if this is the team that's sent out for these things, probably not going to be another one for a little bit, or at least until these ones don't ring in. So you know what? I think we have a little bit of time.
All right. And it's just as a reminder, I have been ordered, not asked, but ordered to make sure and secure the safety and security of the doctor and Mr. Bateman. So on my assumption, they fall under military jurisdiction solely.
That, you know what? I say we best way to keep the doctor safe right now is probably to keep her happy. Keep her happy. Let's get her up top. Get her with the rest of everybody, make everyone get back safe. Then we can go on with you to whatever you want militarily.
All right. And how many hours away were we still from extraction? 2 hours, I think?
It's somewhere between an hour and 2 hours probably at this point.
All right. We've got an hour. We've got up most to 2 hours before evac. We say we get everybody together and we'll follow, we'll go from there.
Sounds good, Rictor. I think that'll be the best thing. Tensions are high right now. I know it. You know it. Let's try and take a break. I think we need a breather. These boys ain't gonna lose their knowledge and do ours.
No.
All right, and then I'm gonna say, all right, now you talk to your men. I'm gonna go talk to the doctor.
Okay.
And I'll stomp on over to the doctor.
So what you walk back to, nothing's changed. What you walk back to is Coombs has secured the UPP individual that was on the deck.
Okay.
Near him, near them, but not directly next to them, are the doc and the nurse.
All right.
So you approach the doc and the nurse.
All right, Dr. Langtree. Let's head back on up with the civilians. You, the nurse, we're going to go up. We're going to get these guys. We're going to go up. They're going to be secured by the military and myself, officially my prisoners, in conjunction with the military. We are going to sit up top until extraction comes. We are going to go back, get everyone nice and safe, and then the military is going to handle these men from there in their military fashion. Once they are out of my jurisdiction completely, as of right now, they are in my jurisdiction as well as all of you. I want to get you home safe as I've wanted to from the beginning. So, let's get up top with everybody, wait for extraction, and get this show on the road. How does that sound, Doctor?
I appreciate that we've come to a peaceful resolution.
Excellent.
Leanne next to her is nodding her head in a definite affirmative.
And I'll say, look, I can already see we're gonna probably butt heads again, but I hope we can, get a little friendship going on too, Doctor. That'll be everything. Thank you. Let's get up top. And I awkwardly turn around.
So you're gonna.
I realize this is too much emotion.
So I want to make sure that I'm understanding it. So you are going to take the doctor and the nurse out, leaving the 4 Marines with the 4 prisoners, correct?
I imagine we're all going to go up at the top at the same time.
So you're going to wait for the Marines to
Take
the prisoners?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm going to ask Sergeant Rictor, is that the same thing you're thinking is happening?
So I'm thinking that I'm going to have a powwow with my Marines real quick just to bring them up to speed on any changes.
Is that over comms, or are you going to pull them together?
I'm going to pull them together, right?
Okay. So remember, the pulling them together, you currently have one guy, the one you've been interrogating, you have him on the dock with Coombs next to him. The other 3 are a ways away in the boat with Stevens and Navarro on them.
I tell them to fall in, yeah.
All right. So because I don't know, what would that mean for Coombs and the single guy, or the other ones, or are they 3?
Because they all fall in, it means they all gather at where I'm at.
All right. So they just leave the guys.
So they're the 2 on the other side. They've got no one to guard, so they can just walk
They're guarding
over.
the 3 men in the boat.
No. So I've always been standing next to the boat that had the 3 guys in it with the 1 guy out on the dock.
Okay.
Right. Me, and then now Kuntz is there as well. On the other side of the boathouse are Navarro.
No.
Yes, the other corner, yeah.
They are literally in the boat with the 3. When the doc went to go check out the 3 guys, the 2 Stevens and Navarro have been in that boat.
Okay, they get out of the boat. We're standing right there, so we're standing right next to the boat. So yeah, get out of the boat. Yeah.
So you guys go. Yeah. So the 2 of them are focused on you, focused on the 3 in the boat, and what are you going to tell them?
All right, so I'm going to tell them and say, it looks like we've got a small change in strategy here, Marines. Let me remind you that your first and foremost responsibility is to the Corps. When you feel like you've got to make a distinction between your personal feelings, what's right or what you think might be wrong, and what the Corps has directed you to do, There is no distinction that needs to be made. It is to the core and to the core only.
And you can see all three of them are kind of looking at each other uncomfortable.
Right. So, and I know you all hear me.
And they say, yes, sir,
Right.
in unison.
I said we are in joint custody of these SOF military upon such a time that the Colonial Marshal will be able to hand them over to proper military authorities, and we will continue to be on our duties to secure the safety and security of Dr. Langtree and Mr. Lance Bateman, above and beyond the safety of anything else. It is mission critical that we maintain those guidelines and those directives. I want 2 guards at all times on the SOF militants. We should be getting extraction in 2 hours or less. And again, be dutiful and be admirable in what you're doing. Nobody here that ain't wearing this armor has anything to do to tell you how you need to conduct yourself.
In unison, yes, Sarge.
Right. Okay, move out.
All right. So while you guys are getting set to bring them, and where are you bringing the 4 prisoners?
We're taking them back up to the living quarters, right?
Okay,
sure
so
we
you're
can
going to
find
bring
a
them
room to
into
put
the
them
living.
in.
So you're going to bring them into living quarters as your current plan,
Right,
correct?
and that plan, yeah. Is there a different way to get them in so we don't have to walk and past all the civilians?
Probably. You
Okay.
have not seen it. You would ask Navarro. Navarro would tell you, yeah, there's an entry on the 2nd level down, and he says, out the boathouse basically tells you how to get there. He says, but we didn't check if it was locked or not. We just know there's a door there that takes you in on the 2nd level.
Check and see if it's locked.
All right.
So I'm gonna go to the marshal.
So
and
Navarro, boom, he's out.
I say, Marshal, I think it might be best if we escort the prisoners in a different entryway, not to incite panic with the civilians, not to march them past them.
Yeah, I think you got yourself a good point there. I agree.
All right. So while you guys are setting this up, Navarro has run out to go check on that. Up top. So Lance, it's still dark up here, and there's the mumbling back and forth. People seem to be calming down, and for you, it's every 10 minutes. So I'm going to let you reduce your stress 2 levels, wherever it's at.
So I planned on admiring my Employee of the Year award to attempt to do that, but I'll go ahead and admire it anyway. If
Of
given
course.
the opportunity.
And while you're doing that, Katrina will come over and just sit down and talk to you. She says, I followed your year. Amazing the things you opened. She says, I gotta ask. You were the up and comer. What happened last year? Suddenly you weren't in anything. I mean, there was the one award ceremony, then there was the one dinner, there was the roast. I think it was one of the VPs, or maybe one of the executive VPs, the EVPs, Schlegman, and then now Schlegman is the husband. She says, and there was the roast for him, and then your name, if I'm correct, please correct me if I'm wrong, your name didn't come up again. In fact, I hadn't heard of you until seeing you here on this flight.
Why, thank you, Miss Hill. Actually, I really do respect and appreciate the attention you've placed in my career. That's very flattering, if I must be honest.
Well, anyone working for Seegson would look at their brightest up-and-comers. I mean,
Of
it would be
course.
foolish to miss that.
Absolutely. And you are correct in your assessment. And I would like to point out that, people are not always comfortable with rising challengers. The corporate world is a very cutthroat environment at times. Sometimes success is a good way to get a target on your head. And let's just say that I've been a bit more successful than some people would have liked.
Wow. So am I correct in understanding then what you're saying, or what you're insinuating, what I hear, what possibly is in the air is that EVP Schlegman was worried about you in some way invading his castle.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be able to confirm any such allegations, but as I said, I have been very successful.
She smiles. For some reason, she just kind of gets a long distance stare. When she brings the stare back in, she says, "You know, he's the one with the wife who was Miss Soul, right?"
Who was? Sorry.
Miss Soul, Miss Universe, but it's really just for the Soul System.
Oh.
His wife.
Oh.
She says he's the one who's married to.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. All right.
And she stops again and gets a distant stare for a moment. She says, I believe you were acquainted with her. Is that correct?
Only in passing.
Yeah. What an
Purely
amazing
professionally.
woman. She says, what an amazing woman.
I would have to agree.
So she looks at you and smiles. She says, so he was concerned about his position and your connection to that position? Is that what I'm understanding?
Like I said, nobody wants to be dethroned by the up-and-comer. So, of course, if anybody shines a little too brightly, then they have a tendency to get a rather, how shall we put it, rural position to get them out of their hair for a time.
And that position is here. What happened? And we're not going to go into it, but she asked you what happened for the last year. This goes on now for about 15, 20 minutes as you guys kind of go back and forth. She's definitely prodding. You are exceptional because of who you are at dodging the prods, but you know what she's trying to get from you.
She wants a scoop.
Yep, and so as she's circling back a little more direct, there starts to be a murmur up top, and a couple of the boys, this is the two brothers that though you do not know them specifically, this is the Merriweather brothers that were talking with the marshal earlier, and one of them says, Hey, look, it's lights. I think that's the rescue transport. And just as everyone's starting to, basically work up and move there, you hear and you feel the building shake, and you hear an explosion. It's not a huge explosion, but there's more of a shake than the noise, but there's a boom downstairs. We'll stop right there.
Oh
boy.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.